Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Christmassy Talk With. If you haven't got any idea by now, it's Christmassy Talk With, in which I bring on guests who have already been on the normal show to discuss all things festive and merry. And I'm here with Aidan O'Connor. Introduce yourself.
Oh, uh, I did a bit of a Christopher Eccleston there. I was just like, I had to get one little hello. uh, uh,
It's good to have you back on the show.
Great to be back, man. It's a lot more festive. It's a lot colder outside, but it's good. It's a same old, good old show. Like, good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back as well, the resident Burgundy Doctor, of course, for EWEM and so forth. First things first, how are you?
Pretty good. I mean, finished up. I mean, I know yourself, as many others probably have. I finished up my uni semester just recently. Up for Christmas. Just pretty much taking it relaxing as much as I can, and just starting to work on a few projects again before the new year. Just getting a few things ready. And just generally, obviously, what we got coming up. For myself on my side is obviously the stuff with the Burgundy Doctor, which is currently in the works. I don't know when this is going out, but I can happily announce that there will be something coming on Christmas Eve for in terms of Burgundy Doctor content. It's a nice little short thing that I wrote last night. I was debating back and forth, should I do something for Christmas? And I'm like, well, I might have something for next year, but then I thought to myself, why not throw something out anyway, so that at least you're in with the Christmas period? Because we know, like, Eamon's got a Christmas special. There's something. I think I saw something on Instagram today for Overton, and then there's all this, and then there's everybody else doing something. So it's good to be in line with that.
Overton has a Famasi story, which I'm very much looking forward to, and the Master story, which also looks amazing.
Yeah, I can say from seeing, like, this was me and Eamon have had to, like, obviously we've been in the presence of John voicing the Master and stuff. He really becomes like, if you've talked to John, right? John is sometimes like a split personality, because the man is very kind of, like, he's very mad himself in his own sweet way, like, whatever. But like, when he becomes the Master, he really just becomes a little, he's like someone having fun with the chaos. Like, he's just enjoying. He's like, I'm reveling in this, I'm enjoying this, and you're dead. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant year for both years, Burgundy and Overton, of course, which and well, pretty much every like audio production that you've worked with. What are some of your achievements from throughout the year, whether it be Doctor Who related or unrelated? Yeah.
Let me think. Looking back now to the year, I guess working at a place of employment where I actually got to do stuff I wanted to do, like editing and a bit of working with After Effects and whatnot, and actually, getting an idea of how it would be in a workplace environment where I can actually do what I want to do, which is what everybody in this business kind of wants, which is good. I guess finally kind of getting a handle on what the Burgundy stuff is doing. Because we were having moments where we've had to go through recasting or basically changing a few episodes. I don't know whether I've told you on this talk with, or on the previous talk with, but episodes 1 to 3 of the main series have had to be converted into audios, and that's fine. I'm not complaining about it, because again, we get to be more layered out with the story and the sound design, and I have to say, Emily Fleetham, who we've just announced as Saoirse, is honestly amazing. Like, I couldn't have asked for someone better to, like, take on the role and just do their best with it. She's Scottish for one thing, and she's voicing an Irish woman. So I mean, that's a challenge in itself. You know, it's like it's like okay, okay, I like it. It needs to be Irish, but she's done an amazing job, and I've heard her voice recordings that she sent over, and I can definitely say one of the good ones is probably episodes 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You guys like it's still in the works currently, but I will definitely say it's a really like I was really moved by her performance in episode 3. Like I showed it to Connor, and Connor like Connor just put an emoji of like the crying emoji thing on it, and they just went, "Oh, sir." But yeah, I think any other achievement is, I mean, it's going to be the end of this year is getting the prequel out, because that's literally the Kickstarter for me. Like just once I get that out, I don't really care about anything else. Like, you know, I'm happy that at least this got out. It's there.
Thing is out there in the world.
Yeah, it's like, you know, for Eamon, obviously, Eamon's put out a special with the Kiwi Doctor back in November, and I couldn't be more proud and happy that, you know, the Kiwi Doctor is finally on screens officially now. Like it's officially there. And I think as well, like, I mean, adding on to that is the announcement of the Last Universe, which can I say, my God, is it nice to know for people, other people to know this thing is on the way. It's.
Yes, Last Universe, very exciting. I mean, I no bias, but I absolutely love the fan crossover. I absolutely love it. I mean, and Last Universe looked like it's setting the bar so high. It's so from what I've heard as well. I really can't wait. Without kind of spoiling what you've got planned, because of course you mentioned stuff you've got planned, but of course there's plans of DWEM, plans of Overton, plans Prism now. What's kind of your plans for the future in terms of not spoiling anything?
Okay. I guess all right. I won't say much for DeWem because I know Eamon would kill me. Eamon and a lot of the other boys would be like, hey. But I will say that we have like some amazing stuff coming. I know Eamon's spoken about a few things that are on the way. I mean, mainly a certain series that I won't say unless he said it. But you know, I definitely am looking forward to that one because it's the way he's explained. Like they've explained it to me is like it's definitely not like anything you've seen before when it comes to a sort of how would that work type of scenario. And I think when it does come out, you'll realize, okay, this can work. And then it's sort of all, you know, links together. And then with the Last Universe, you've kind of got a thing where all of us are in there, you know, we're kind of where I remember when what was this? When initially when we had to, like back in the day when we initially started, we just went like it was basically me and Eamon just going, because back then we had no connection. Like me and Eamon now before the WEM happened, we just sort of we were all our own little doctors and our own little universes and stuff, and we all had our own things going on. But slowly but surely we started to kind of interweave things and be like, but this work. And then we went, why not do something with, you know, we could ask Connor if he wants to be involved in something, and then it led on to Dan being asked, and then obviously the chips, well, not the chips, but everything kind of the domino effect started happening. Then we started just going off on it and just, you know, getting in contact. And I think it was how would I put it? It was a long time coming getting the script done, but I can say that like when we had to give most of the role to Eamon because I'd basically gotten in more involved with obviously things with work, things with uni. They took a lot of my time. Eamon really came in and kind of put the script together and really made it feel like a cohesive thing that can work in the time frame. And honestly, when it gets to the 60th itself, you guys, like the whole year itself is going to be a mad thing. Like I can't even describe it. Like I think everyone's kind of got their own little thing going on for the 60th year. Like we've all got plans, we've all got ideas of what we want to do. You know, you yourself included. You know, I know you won't say, but it's definitely going to be something. I think, you know what's funny to me is like David Tennant's back on screens as the Doctor, and I'm just like, yeah, but then there's all this other stuff in the fan universe that's just on another level up here.
It's
And
forward to.
and just sorry, yeah, just and on the thing of SC on the Arcadian universe. What I'll say as a little spoiler, not for the main 3 episodes, but just overarching. Burgundy's not the only Doctor there, and I'm not talking about say Kiwi or anything. There's more than just Burgundy, and in the future we'll start to feed those little bits in, and we'll introduce it. And I'll say this: none of these people are on the whole within the Doctor Who community. These are new faces, very lovely people, and honestly, I'm looking forward to revealing themselves to you guys once the time is right.
Yeah, I look forward to finding out who they are and who their doctors, well, what their doctors are like. Some very exciting stuff indeed. Moving the conversation towards Christmas, because of course, what would a Christmassy talk with be without, well, Christmas? One question that I love asking people that come onto the show is, what's your favorite Christmas special?
Okay, let's see. All right, so I've been going back and forth on this ever since I seen the one with you and James, because I immediately my mind has just been like, oh, you like this one, but then you didn't really like that part, but you like this one, but you kind of so my mind has kind of fallen onto, and it's a very weirdly, it's kind of underrated, but then it's fallen between two, unfortunately, which is Voyage of the Damned and Husbands of River Song.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a reason for both. Well, for the reason for Voyage is because I think it really puts David into a kind of action sequence, and he's kind of having to maneuver through everything, and you really got this funny cast of characters with each other, and I mean Kylie Minogue as well, like so it's just kind of funny. I mean, that's Jesus. I don't know how David must look back on his life at some point and just go, I've made out with Kylie Minogue. That's a strange moment of my life. But and it just the whole thing with the Titanic, and having they're running out of time and just trying to get things, and I love how it all boils down to money. It all boils down at the end of the day. It's just like, yeah, this big is like, oh, you guys think it's a really big scheme. Someone's up. It's like, no, it's just a money thing again. Someone's just trying to cash out on a big bank scheme, and I'm like, this is. I love I love how in RTDs it showed the funny monopoly of the universe, that there's like, it's like, guys, it's not all evil schemes. It's just somebody is like, it's just a scheme, a money scheme at the end of the day. But and I think with Husbands of River Song, I like not particularly the villain part. I think the villain part may have been a bit, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I really like the moments between 12 and River, because I've said this to Connor before, because it was one of those late night things where I was like, I have to text someone about this, and I just decided, Mr. Chadwick, you will be getting this message. But I was saying that 11, it was more of the rebellious young teen that River got introduced to. That kind of, he was good, but he wasn't right, I guess you could say. Like, it's like trying to fit on a new pair of shoes or something. It doesn't quite, like, maybe say you, like when you're a kid, I don't know, I'm trying to describe it. It's like it was young love stage. Like, it was very young love. And I think even I know in, what is it? The Angels Take Manhattan, the bit where 11 goes, would you travel with me? But she says, not all the time. I feel like it's because that's more River, maybe looking at this as, you're more of the, you're someone who is all right for a while, but not for the whole thing. I mean, you can handle, Amy, Rory, all that kind of stuff, but that's, I don't know. I guess there was something there that could never really fully unite them. But then with 12 is more, wise. He's been through more wars. He's matured, and I love how he is with her, because he's actually, he's kind of, I don't know. There's this wise, I guess you could call it wise nature to him. He's very calm about it, and I love the bit where, like, I know people might cringe on it, but I just go, when he says hello, sweetie, I'm like, finally, he has got the drop on her. Thank God. Thank you.
You mentioned the villain, and like what I love about certain Doctor Who stories is that you know when to balance it, because I think the thing with the Husbands of Every Song is that the villain is not your priority. It's not, if anything, during that story, it's kind of used as a comedic element with Greg Davies and the
Yeah.
It
Oh, I
very
mean, it's Greg. I mean, it's Greg Davies. Like, it's like like if you don't know him from like what's the show? It's not bad. It's not Bad Education. It's the other one. But like, yeah, I think that's the one. Or the In-Betweeners. If you don't know, like, if you know him from those two, you're just like, yeah, we're in for a funny one here.
Yeah, and I think what Husbands does so well is that it focuses on what it needs to focus on, which is the Doctor and River. The villain only complements the story that they're trying to tell, which is how they end up on Beryllium, and how River's story ends. And that's why it's probably one of my favorite Christmas specials, is because of that balance and because of the ingenious storytelling with River in general. But also, I just love the story so much. It's just such a tragic comfort story, and so's Voyage. They're definitely my top three. Voyage,
Yeah, Voyage is just, I don't know. It's on, like, there's a bit where I don't have a lot to say about the actor, but Mr. Popper, like, when he talks about, like, obviously, if you could bring people back from the dead, that would make you a monster. I love how that kind of, it's sort of, like, Ten is obviously, he's angry about it. He's, he's frustrated that, like, I could have, had her as a companion. We would have traveled together. But I love how Mr. Popper is basically pointing out, yeah, but if you did try and bring her back, if you did, if you went down this path and make you a monster, and we end up seeing that in the Waters of Mars, it comes to fruition in that.
I mean, one thing that I discussed with James on the normal talk with and on the Christmassy talk with is how Rusty Davis plays 4D chess with all of his characters and plot points, and I love it when lines like that come to fruition. And then I think it also comes to fruition in Pompeii, in quite a lot of Ten's era, but Pompeii and Waters of Mars specifically, and I just love it. Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, mate, like, I don't know why, but I feel like even in the 60th, he's gonna lay some groundwork for Shooty. He's gonna lay some really, like, it'll be so under the rug that you won't even know it's there. But once you get the Shooty's era and something pops out, you're like, oh, it's like that scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where your man, like, gets off the chair and he's like, oh.
But yes, moving on to the next question now, and it's more not really Doctor Who. Well, it's not Doctor Who at all, actually. It's like, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Because it's a question that's not quite a lot, and yeah, quite a lot of people giving the same answer. I'm looking forward to hearing yours.
Yeah. Oh, see, I like the Santa Claus, right? I like that whole, I like, what, 1, 2, 3's okay, the series is but like, I look at that as the funny Santa. Like, I look at that as the funny Santa stuff. But if I had to pick my favorite, Miracle on 34th Street, the 1990s version with Richard Attenborough, because my God, oh yeah, like, whenever you see, like, I'm sorry, like, anyone who needs to get a picture of what Santa Claus looks like, I just go watch that movie. He is Santa. Like, there's a bit where they bring up this girl who's, like, deaf, and it's sort of like, obviously in the original one there was, like, a Dutch girl and he spoke Dutch to her, but I love this bit where, like, Richard Attenborough actually learned how to do it, and actually that was a real scene. Like, the girl did not expect him to do it. He just literally just went, I won't do the signals now because I might get them wrong, so I won't. But, like, the way he does it, I'm just like, that's just, you see the magic, like, the reaction in her face. She believes he is Santa, and I'm like, yeah, because he does. Like, you look at him and you're like, that's Santa Claus. Like, you put,
Yeah. I mean, great choice overall. Great choice. I remember growing up with that movie as a kid. Absolutely adore that movie. Absolutely just fantastic.
yeah.
And yeah, that choice hasn't come up surprisingly thus far. So you're the first person to say it, I
I
think.
mean, I would have said Batman Returns, but that would have been a bit too, that would have been a bit too left field for that one. It's like, what's your favorite Christmas movie? The one with the bat. That's the one.
I mean, it's definitely a Christmas film. Just saying that now, but yeah. I mean, it's up to contention, as is. Even though I believe that to be.
I'm sorry. Look, Bruce Willis can argue it all he wants. I'm like, mate, is there a Christmas tree in the room? Yes, it's Christmas.
Exactly. And my penultimate question is it's more of a general question because, of course, I've asked. Well, actually, no, wait, not penultimate. I'm gonna get that out because I got a few. Uh, what, yeah, what does Doctor Who mean to you at Christmas? Like looking back and any memories you have, any stories from long ago, and just general, just
uh,
what do you mean to you at Christmas?
um, I think it's just like I love, like, I'll say this, like I think George is gonna like this bit when I say it, but I've listened to obviously Chimes of Midnight, and I think, and originally my thing is with Doctor of Christmas. It's like, oh yeah, I would love to see something, Christmassy or whatever, a little bit of fun there. But it's like you can still tell a story there. There is always room to like do something interesting with it, and dark. I mean, not too dark, obviously, because there's kids watching, and I mean now that they're on Disney Plus, they really don't want to lose that that distribution. But I think there is opportunity to do something interesting there, and I mean, like, how to put it, I still watch stuff like the Christmas Invasion and the Next Doctor, and even the Christmas Carol, or what is it, Time of the Doctor, and it's always a little bit of nostalgia for me when I first watch it, because
Yeah.
for me, I remember, like, obviously Time of the Doctor was Matt's last one, and that was on Christmas, and I remember being at my granddad's when that happened, and it was a really nice time where, like, my family around, they had no idea what was happening, and then they saw him, explode into a really big ball of whatever, and then Peter Capaldi showed up, and they went, "What the hell is this? What's happened?" And then, and I mean, I remember, like, in the other thing with Christmas was when Capaldi regenerated. It was a bit of a darker time around then, but it was. I love this bit where I actually showed, like, cause I missed the episode, but I wanted to see the regeneration scene, so I showed. I was at my dad's. I went to my nan's with my dad, and we basically. I was like, "Do you want to watch this?" And he went, "Oh, what is it?" I went, "Oh, the regeneration." He turns in, because I have to give him very average explanation. It's like, "Oh yeah, the doctor, he turns into the next one, and it's a woman." And he went, "What?" And he immediately, his base started over. It's the same when I showed him, like, Jodie to David. He didn't expect it to be David at all. He was just like, because my dad's very, like, average when it comes to reaction. He's like, "Wasn't he in it before?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he was, yeah." It's I don't know, but there's a nice joyful nature to it, because I think Christmas is always about just having a laugh and just being with family, and for whatever family you want to be, like, it could be friends who you have, or actually, I'll say this again for George, the friends we made along the way. But or even our friends you consider family in that sense. It can be whatever, because it's just having a joyful time with those you love.
Yeah.
And that's what Doctor Who should always be. It should be able to bring people together, and enjoy something.
I mean, yeah, I can put that by myself. I mean, it's kind of that's been proven to me over this year. I mean, God knows how many Comic Cons I've been to, and I've been introduced my flatmates to the show, and it's really brought everyone in
What
my life together.
what episode are they on right now?
Oh, we are on the Beast Below, so we finished at the 11th hour.
How are they adjusting to Matt? How are they?
They like the first episode. They were a bit sad to say goodbye to David, but
Oh, isn't it? I mean, I hope you started them at 9, because otherwise I'd be very much like, they didn't start with 9, for God's sake.
start with 9. We started with 9, and they do love Eccleston. They do mention quite a lot that they love Eccleston and they find him underrated. So my respect for my friends is still intact.
Oh, wait till they get to Capaldi now, and then you'll be just like, guys, just wait. There's a moment.
Yes, I mean they are looking forward to Capaldi because that's the only era that they didn't really know anything about, and they still don't. So that one is completely blind. I mean, for the most part, they've been blind all the way throughout. Mats, they know a bit about, but that was to be expected after we've been watching it all kind of blind. They're bound to know some things.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to my next question, because it's kind of a perfect segue into a more general question, kind of based on the last one. It's what does Doctor Who mean to you in general?
Um, I think it's like it's weird because like I've been watching a few different reviews of like stuff like obviously the Hartnell stuff because Mr. Tars is doing a review series at the moment. Very good, by the way. I've been enjoying how he's doing it, you know. But I love I love how even then and now, as we're seeing, Doctor Who just I don't know. It means just to give this sort of I don't know, just to throw you into this world that can either be very relate, like you got to be. It's a bunch of different things. I don't know what, like it's a like when I describe it to my friend, like obviously because I'm trying to get either well not my friend at the moment, I'm trying to get my sister to watch at least maybe Nine's thing or Nine season or whatever. But it's just it's a fun it's a fun bit of adventure, but there's a bit of stuff in there that you learn, stuff you see characters go through. It's a wonderful exploration experience where you see the lives of these people change, and the and the person they travel with changes as a result. I mean, I can definitely say this without a shred of a doubt. Every doctor who's come along has changed in some form or another because of who they travel with. I mean, let me just go to the first. Hartnell went from being very snarky and whatever to like Ian and Barbara immediately, like, well, not immediately, but over time, they wither him down into this more, workable, sociable man who embraces the people who he's around and does it all the way up until his, death, or death, but and it changes him into a better man, and it just keeps the cycle keeps repeating where he keeps meeting he or she or they keep meeting these new people and they change them for the better. And like, I mean, I can say this. I know we all like some fans are very much like going back to David is sort of it's like, oh, why are we going backwards? I'm like, well, sometimes in life you need to take a step back and reassess the situation before moving forward. And I know Doctor Who's kind of taking this a bit literal, but think about it now. David's Doctor didn't really finish on, like, I think for even RTD, he knows this. They didn't really finish, they might have not finished on terms they didn't want to finish on, even though they did a great job what they had. I think RTD really wants to do something nice for the Noble family, because I think the state he left them in, he might have gone, I really want Donna and the Doctor back one more time. And I think we're really going to see something really nice come out of it. And
Yeah.
what I like about it is it will not only let let Doctor Who, that part of Doctor Who, have a nice time and then rest. It will bounce the Doctor forward when he becomes Shooty, where it's this whole new regeneration who, honestly, one of the sexiest outfits I've ever seen. Oh my God. Dude, the crop top looks amazing. The tartan check. I was like,
it's amazing. It truly
I
is.
was like, you fight. I was like, RTD, you sly bastard. You managed to mix the formal with casual and it works. Like, oh my God.
Like,
I was
best.
I'm like, he could Shooty's Doctor could teach me stuff any day of the week. That is a doctor right there. Like, and then I love how him and Millie's friendship is on set. Like, I was watching there's these little videos that Shooty's been putting up or Doctor's been putting up, and I'm like, this is the best way to advertise the series. Just having them two just like enjoying the atmosphere, and I'm like, we are in for a good one, lads. We are in for a great one.
Certainly, I look forward to it. Definitely. My final kind of question for you is, it kind of puts people on the spot, and we've only got 4 minutes on the time for this seem to end.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Your Christmas message to the people at home, the audience, and you cannot do Hartnell. No Hartnell. No Hartnell Christmas message. Go ahead. Stage is yours.
Okay.
4 minutes.
Right. Okay. Right. So for this here, I just want to say to all the lovely people at home. You guys are fantastic. You are absolutely fantastic. And I kind of was, but I hope this year has been eventful for all of you, that you've had some good ups and less bad downs. I know we can all kind of agree on that in some shape or form, but we definitely got a great year ahead of us, both for fan-made stuff, for official stuff, and that little bit of stuff in between that we don't we don't know if it's official or not. But I can definitely say everyone's been doing amazing this year and is going to do absolutely fantastic next year. And we're not even there yet. So what I'm going to do right now is just wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, and brilliantly timed. Thank you for watching, everyone. Make sure to leave a like, check out my code in the description, subscribe, and also check out Aidan's socials and anything you want to promote. You have 3 minutes. If there's anything you want to promote, go ahead.
Let's go. All right, I got 3 minutes. Let's go. All right, so immediately, Prism. So over to Audios, the good boy Connor Chadwick, the Chad, the man himself, of course. Scarecrow Props, but also Torchwood Nexus, and that is Mr. James Sutton. Go on by. What is this? Instability Productions. That is George and Jed and everyone else there, all the lovely people. TT Productions, which is Abby Louise, along with Chelsea Langan, Matt Chambers, James York, many other people. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to keep it within the time frame. Of course, the guys who I wouldn't have had the strength or confidence to make my fan series in the first place. Dan and Anya over at Fractured Timeline. They're both amazing, and they are so hardworking and creative, and I wouldn't have been in the position I am now, with anyone without them. And I'll always be grateful, and always, great friends, love them. John and Harper, the Dark Doctor, the Master. Who else? Come on, Aidan, you can get it within 3 minutes. Let's go. Think.
And one more.
I can fit in one more. Let me think. Come on, Aidan. There. Oh yeah, Motion Idea Films. If you guys have seen his 3D stuff and his artworks, amazing. He did the stuff for our 60th trailer. What a man, insane. And also Jed Rhodes, who is Man at Desk and Lungbar Brothers. Amazing composer, amazing writer. Love him. Yes.
Jed definitely exists. Always remember that Jed exists.
He exists. He does.
See you around. Merry Christmas, and less than a minute remaining. Let's
subscribe to SC.
There we go.
Subscribe to DWAM. Subscribe to DWAM. Goodbye.
We're just gonna go for the minute. Just gonna go for the minute. Why not? Bye bye, everyone.
Oh, I need a bottle of water.
Bye.
I'm gonna break this hand.
Oh, this is yep. There we go.
Yep. Oh.
There's certainly in a minute. Bye bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Like and all that, and yep. Bye bye.